Most people lie to you about semen retention. They sell you the idea of instant superpowers, endless magnetism, and limitless energy by day 3. But they don't tell you about the shadows. They don't talk about the days when your brain is screaming for its cheap dopamine fix, when the withdrawals hit, and when you are forced to sit alone with the thoughts you've been numbing for years. Today, we are looking at the brutal, unfiltered reality of the first 30 days. No sugarcoating, just the truth of what actually happens to your mind and body. The first week is highly deceptive. You usually start with massive motivation. You feel a surge of pride, and by day 4 or 5, you notice a sharp spike in physical energy. The ancients understood this well, referring to it as the preservation of life force, or Jing, but your modern brain is completely wired for instant gratification. Around day 6 or 7, that initial motivation completely wears off, and the physical urges hit like a freight train. You need to understand that you aren't just fighting a bad habit. You are fighting your own neurochemistry. Your brain is throwing a violent tantrum because the massive dopamine spikes it relies on are suddenly gone. This is where the majority of men break. They mistake the panic of withdrawal for natural biological desire, and they relapse. If you manage to survive week 1, welcome to the flatline. This is the part of days 8 through 14 that nobody likes to talk about. You expect to feel like a conqueror, but instead you feel entirely hollow. You will likely feel lethargic, unmotivated, and even a little depressed. Your libido might drop to absolute zero. This isn't a failure of the practice. It is the brutal recalibration of your dopamine receptors. Your baseline is resetting. The Stoics knew that true internal fortitude is only forged in the absence of cheap pleasure. You have to sit with this intense discomfort. Your nervous system is healing, but healing often feels exactly like breaking. During these days, you will question why you even started this journey in the first place, and your mind will rationalize every possible excuse to just quit. As you push into days 15 to 21, the heavy fog begins to lift, but the internal war shifts from the physical body to the emotional mind. The raw physical urges are often replaced by intense emotional volatility. The insecurities, past regrets, and hidden anxieties that you used to instantly numb with cheap pleasure will start bubbling to the surface. You are finally experiencing your life in high definition. And it hurts. Men frequently report intense, vivid dreams, sudden bouts of aggression, and a deep, restless energy in their chest. This energy is raw, unrefined material. If you don't actively channel this tension into the gym, a creative project, or your actual purpose, it will turn against you and burn you out. This is the crucible. You are actively transmuting base instinct into actual drive. By the time you reach days 22 to 30, you begin crossing a major threshold. The desperate, restless anxiety starts to fade, replaced by a cold, quiet focus. This is where the real, sustainable benefits begin to anchor themselves in your life. You will notice your eye contact changes. You hold your ground, your presence becomes heavier, and your mind becomes incredibly sharp because your nervous system is finally grounded. You stop seeking cheap external validation. The social anxieties and daily stresses that used to control you now just feel like background noise. You have conquered the hardest part of the initial reboot. You haven't become superhuman. You are simply returning to the natural, powerful baseline of what a man is actually supposed to be. Focused, highly disciplined, and completely unchained from his base impulses. 30 days is just the foundation, but it is a foundation built on absolute, brutal discipline. Stay the course.